Hello and welcome to this Thrive Method Masterclass, showing you the 2 powerful secrets that are going to guarantee you improve your energy, your confidence through improving your health and fitness, but doing so without needing to sacrifice any more of your time, because I know you're probably very busy just like me, but also without sacrificing your favorite foods and your favorite drinks, because where's the fun in that? And the purpose of this is to show you that improving your health does not have to be confusing or difficult. In actual fact, despite what so many people out there online will tell you, it's actually surprisingly simple. But the thing about simple is, it's not sexy. And let's be honest, sexy sells. That is why you'll get so many gurus and health and fitness influencers out there telling you to do this new diet or this new type of exercise, because that is going to make them money. It's not what is best for you. What is best for you, as I said, is actually surprisingly simple. But before we get into everything that we need to cover to give you these 2 powerful secrets, you may be wondering, who the hell am I? I am not a guru. I'm not a health and fitness influencer. So who am I to be telling you what these surprisingly simple secrets are? Well, if you'll indulge me just a couple of minutes, just a short space of time, I'll introduce myself in a little bit more detail, and then we'll get into the good stuff. So first and foremost, I guess, who the hell am I? Well, hello, my name is Adam. I am the founder of T3 Functional Fitness. And that handsome chap right up there was me. That was me back in 2013, just as I had finished my uni degree. Now, previously, before this photo was taken, and in actual fact, before I started university, I was a sporty kid. I was always that annoyingly thin one that no matter what they ate, and I ate a lot, would kind of stay athletic. And I loved sport. So much so that I did a sport degree. And yet, despite my previous experiences, despite my knowledge from a sports degree, I still found myself the unhealthiest that I have ever been, with no idea how to get myself back to where I wanted to be and where I felt my happiest. It took me over 7 years to find out what worked for me. And I've spent the past 3 or so years implementing that to make sure that I am living my best possible healthy lifestyle. And from that point, I wanted to make sure that no one would go through the same struggles that I've been through and take that long to find their happiness. That is when I decided to change what I did for a living and become a coach. However, I am not just a coach. I always thought I was. I thought I was a personal trainer / coach, and that was that. But I'm not. I am all of the roles. I own a business. I own T3 Functional Fitness. So not only am I the coach of T3 Functional Fitness, but I am the owner, I am the founder, I am the chief executive officer, I'm the operations manager, the customer service manager. I do all the roles. Essentially what I'm trying to say is I am a business leader. So I completely understand what it is like for business leaders who have the stress and the time constraints put upon them because of the role that they have and the people that they're responsible for, the success that they are charged with creating within the business. So I understand what it's like for you when you're having to deal with urgent client requests, or to find time to do your marketing for your business, make the sales that not only generate income and success for your business, but generate the income for you personally, so that you can go out and enjoy your life, but still actually have time to enjoy it, rather than being holed up, solely focused on generating that income at work and trying to fit a healthy lifestyle within that. And this really came to a head in September of 2022, last year, where I changed how I viewed my coaching. I always followed the path of weight loss and fat loss, because that's what I thought personal trainers did. However, because of an accident that I had, I was forced out of the gym. I could no longer spend time in the gym with my clients. And not only that, I could not do my own training. I couldn't do all the things that I was used to doing. And it was at that moment where I realized that what I choose to do from a lifestyle perspective is not about the weight or the BMI that I'm trying to achieve. It was about how I felt. Because I couldn't follow through with the exercise that I was used to doing, with the nutrition, with the habits, with the mindset, I felt run down. I didn't feel at my best to be able to run my business how it should be run. And I saw the knock-on effect that that would have with regards to my ability to market effectively, with my ability to make sales. So I made that flip to focus on helping other business leaders focus on their health so that they have more energy, more productivity, and more confidence, both inside the workplace and outside of it. So let's get into the reason why you are here, the reason that you downloaded this masterclass. And we're starting with step 1. Step 1 of your 2 powerful secrets is to generate efficient training. So often online you will see people say, you need to do 60-minute workouts, you need to get your resistance working, you need to be doing cardio. Ideally, do your cardio in the morning, resistance in the evening, 60 minutes each. Do that 5 days a week. That's just crazy. Who the hell has time to do an hour's worth 5 days a week, never mind 2 sessions per day, 5 days a week? The key is that we need to be efficient with our time. I know as a business leader that you have a lot of time constraints, whether that's work-related, socials, or family and friends. So you can't be spending hours and hours in the gym, because when the hell are you going to have any time to have fun or even sleep? And when it comes to efficient training, we want to focus on these 3 key things. A, do more of what you want. B, know your intent. And C, stick to your timing. Let's have a look at what each of those mean and how we can implement them into our lifestyle right now. So number 1 is do more of what you want. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not to say just go off and do nothing if you want to do nothing, or just go off and do one thing that you love doing. But at the end of the day, enjoyment leads to consistency. Consistency leads to results. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're not going to do it for very long. Make sense? So with that in mind, you want to be doing more of what you want. Regardless of how many sessions you're looking to do, I would always recommend a minimum of 2 resistance sessions per week. And this typically is what people need to do rather than what they want. People don't necessarily like resistance training. It's too complex, it's too foreign, they don't know how to get it started. However, when we look at long-term health, so improving fitness, improving strength, improving our robustness when it comes to injury and illness, resistance training is golden. But it doesn't have to be, as I said, long sessions. You can easily get a couple of resistance sessions in per week in 30 minutes or less. Doesn't even need to be the gym. You can do it at home. But once we've got those 2 in, especially if you're not a big fan of resistance, make sure the rest of your sessions or the rest of your movement is focused on what you enjoy doing. Whether that's playing sport if you're part of a team, or even if you play sport individually, whether that's just going out for walks on a weekend, whether that's going running, swimming, whatever it is, if you can get those 2 lots of 30 minutes in, make sure the rest of it is what you enjoy. And if we can make that the majority of things, then what we need to do doesn't become quite so much of a chore, because we know we've got stuff we're going to enjoy doing. Combine the 2, and we've got the key for consistency for the long term. And once we've got that, we want to make sure we go into the gym knowing our intent. What are the goals you want to achieve, and how are you going to achieve them? So as I said, minimum 2 resistance sessions per week. If you're doing 2 resistance sessions per week, we want to be hitting full body on every single session. Following the movement patterns of squat and hinge, they're your lower, and push and pull, which are your upper. If within 30 minutes we can hit the full body and do that twice a week, then we are well set up to fill the remainder of our sessions with the things that we enjoy. But it's not just as straightforward as saying 30 minutes of resistance 2 days a week and we're good. Because we need to make sure that that is laser focused towards what you want to achieve. If you want to get stronger, there is no point in you doing stuff that is not going to get you stronger. If you want to build muscle, there's no point doing things that aren't going to help you build muscle. So know your intent, and from there, learn what's going to get you there. If it is strength, focus on high amounts of sets, low amount of reps with heavy weights. If you're looking to build muscle, then we reduce the sets and increase the reps. And number 3, stick to your timings. So often I'll see people going around the gym, and in between movements, they'll be scrolling through their phones, chatting to someone, and that's all well and good if you have the time to do that. But if you do not, maybe your perception of how long a gym session takes is because you aren't being efficient with that time. So if you have 30 minutes, then set yourself a timer the moment you walk into the gym for 30 minutes and stick to it. The moment that 30 minutes is up, out we go. And we need to make sure that we complete everything that we need within this time frame. And to do so, we've got 2 structures here that are your absolute allies. Number 1 is supersets. This is where we essentially put 2 movements back to back with a short rest in between, a short rest after. So if, like I mentioned earlier, we are doing a hinge and a squat movement, let's say for example, deadlift and squats, we'll do the deadlift, short rest, do the squats, short rest. Repeat however many times necessary based on the intent that we figured out in the last point. Once you've done all of your sets with those 2 movements, move on to the upper body ones, done. Full body in less than 30 minutes. Your other option is what we call an AMRAP. It stands for as many rounds as possible, and it does what it says on the tin. Set yourself a timer, set your movements, and do as many rounds as you can of those movements. So again, if we're looking at our 4 movements, squat, hinge, push, pull, pick 1 movement of each, set a timer, maybe 20 minutes, and set your reps, maybe 10, 10, 10, 10. Really straightforward. Once you press that timer for that 20 minutes, do 10 of your squat, 10 of your hinge, 10 of your push, 10 of your pull. Once you've done that, go back to the start. As many times as you can in that time frame. Not only will performing this get you the results that you want within the time frame that you're after, but it'll also help push your cardiovascular fitness as well alongside it without you even intending to. So that's step number one. What about step number two? We want to focus on a quality lifestyle outside of our training as well. And the issue with lifestyle is that it can be overwhelming. There are so many focuses when it comes to lifestyle. Whether that's to do with the amount of food we're eating, the quality of the food we're eating, whether it's to do with the amount we're socializing, maybe it's too much, maybe it's too little, whether that's to do with our sleep, whether that's to do with our routines. There's so much to focus on. So I'm going to talk you through just the one, because focusing on this 20% of lifestyle actions is going to yield 80% or more of the results. And those two things are focusing on quality food and creating a skeleton plan around it. So what I mean by focus on quality is aiming for single ingredient. What I mean by single ingredients is essentially the building blocks that you will have for a meal. Think of things like your vegetables, your fruit, your meats, your dairies. Most of these are single item ingredients or have very few ingredients within them. They are typically the things that you would use to create a recipe or to create a certain food. Focus on them because they have the highest amount of quality because they are the lowest processed. On top of that, aim for protein with every meal. It doesn't have to be meat, but aim for protein with every meal. Ideally, a fist-sized portion once it's been cooked. So that could be eggs. It could be dairy in the form of milk, yogurt, kefir, cheese. It could be meat. It could be fish. It could be plant-based from things like lentils or beans. Whatever it is, make sure you get a lot of variety. The more varied your protein, the more varied the amino acids that you're going to get into the body, which is only going to help you long term. Helping you rebuild muscle mass after your resistance sessions so that later down the line, with more muscle mass, you can maintain your results without having to cut your calories. But also it's going to help you feel fuller for longer between meals right now so that we inevitably eat less. And number three, take your time. Too often, we will be eating, watching TV, scrolling through our phone, or something else that is taking our mind off what we're doing. And by doing so, we regularly overconsume the foods we eat because we're just not paying attention. Try to make sure that the only thing you are focusing on is the food that you are eating. Savor it, enjoy it. Put your knife and fork down between bites, whatever it is. Take your time, pay attention to what you're eating, and you'll notice that actually you get fuller quicker than you thought because you're not being distracted by something else. And once we've got those habits in place, we want to create a skeleton plan with regards to meals. The reason I focus on a skeleton plan and a meal plan is because meal plans don't work. The moment you are given something that says you have to eat this, this, and this, and you can't eat this, this, and this, it becomes harder to stick to, and you're going to want the things that it says you can't have. Meal plans, if you've ever been on them, suck. However, a skeleton plan is something slightly different. It gives you the structure that actually makes it really easy for you to decide what you're going to have, what's going to be included in those meals without costing you a lot of time to make decisions. Because we all know after a long, stressful day, trying to make decisions of what we're going to eat inevitably ends towards a takeaway. So what do you need to know? First and foremost, we need a structure. How many feeds are you going to have per day? Typically, I'd say 3 or 4. But some people will eat 2 big meals and be okay on that. Some people will eat 5 really small meals. Most people fit into 3 or 4. So how many feeds are you having? Are we going to eat 3 times a day or are we going to eat 4 times a day? And then once we know that, what is the composition of our meals? When are we going to have the big meal? When are we going to have something that's cooked? When do we need something that's going to be quick? Something that needs to be prepared the night before? Knowing when these are going to fall and then giving ourselves options for each of those makes it easy so that when it comes to that moment in time, if you haven't been able to prepare, you know what your options are to pull something together either quickly or that is going to be well cooked, good quality food. Once you've got that structure, we move on to choices. And all you need to do here is list out 2 to 4 options for each of these choices. So number 1, proteins, fats, carbs from grains or starches, carbs from vegetables. If I use myself as an example, my options for protein, chicken, tuna, and eggs. That doesn't mean it's all I have, but I just make sure I've always got chicken, tuna, and eggs in. So if I'm ever in a rush, I know I've got at least one protein source that I can put into my meal. And then I do the same with fats. For me, typically that looks like bacon, cheese, and avocado. And from that point, I focus on carbs or separate carbs for grains and starches and vegetables. So for a grains and starches point of view, I would look at potatoes, pasta, and rice as my 3 main options. Being careful to focus on whole grain. So whole wheat pasta and brown rice over the white varieties. And then from a vegetables perspective, I prefer cherry tomatoes, spinach, and broccoli. It doesn't mean that's all I eat, but if I make sure I've always got those in, I always have meal options, both for really quick on the go or for a nice cooked meal that I know I'm going to enjoy without having done a big food shop. And then after that, create quick meals from your choices. So if I flick back to this, I know that I could make a meal out of these options, such as a chicken, bacon, and avocado salad. I take 1 from my protein, 2 from my fats, and 2 from my vegetables rather than a grains and starches. Alternatively, I could do a tuna pasta bake. Tuna's my protein, pasta from my carbs, grains and starches, sweet corn from my vegetables, different to what I normally have in, but that's fine, and cheese from my fats. 3 of those I've always got in. One of them, if it's in a tin, it's fine, it'll last ages anyway. So you can see how once you've got your structures and you know how many meals you're going to have, the structures of those meals with regards to whether they need to be prepped before or you can cook it fresh. And then from that point, have your choices for each of those 4 sections. You can very quickly and easily create quick meals that you have got in the locker for when you are short on time. And then after that, anything else that you have, the variety, all that kind of stuff is a bonus. And I know I said there were 2 powerful secrets, but I'm giving you a bonus one right here. In fact, I'm giving you 2 bonus ones, but it all focuses around your mindset. Because when it comes to anything, what you focus on grows. And typically, most people will look at things and focus on weight loss or fat loss or inch loss or anything like that. And don't get me wrong, I've done it in the past. You can go on my social medias and you will find me focusing on that both with myself and the content I put out and with my clients. It's something that since my injury, I am moving away from. Because it doesn't do anyone good to focus on what the body needs to lose. Whether that is dropping BMI by losing weight or dropping weight by losing fat. It's always focusing on where the body is now and what it needs to lose. And it's a negative mindset. And focusing on that puts us in a negative state. We go on the scales and we're like, shit, it's not come down. I've ruined it. Progress is gone. F it, let's do what we want. But if we can flip that mindset, if we can focus on what we can grow as an individual and how we can grow in terms of our body and making it do more things and making it be able to do more, that's a positive. So say yes to focusing on how you feel, how energized you feel, how focused, how productive, how happy, but also what can you do? Can you lift more? Can you run further? Can you walk up a hill without being out of breath? If you can focus on what your body is capable of doing and growing those things, rather than focusing on what it's losing, then the journey itself becomes more enjoyable. And it helps us overcome the valley of despair. If you're not familiar with the emotional cycle of change, it's really straightforward. We begin with uninformed optimism. Essentially, you're just really giddy to get started. You believe that this thing that you have started is going to get you the result. And then as time goes on, you find yourself in informed pessimism. You're doing the things, but you're realizing actually it takes a bit more work than you thought, and it's a bit harder, and the results aren't coming. So eventually you find yourself in the valley of despair. You are putting the effort in, you are not seeing the results, and it just downright sucks. And so many people, because they're focused on what they need to lose, and they aren't losing that sort of stuff, they will just end here. They'll hit the valley of despair, decide that this is a thing that is not working for them, and go back to something else. And they'll keep in the cycle. 1, 2, 3, not working, find something else, 1, 2, 3. Over and over, never seeing success. If you can change your mindset to focus on growing and showing what your body is capable of doing, you still will go through stages 1 to 3. However, you will see small, continual gains in what your body's capable of, which makes it easier to push past the valley of despair. Even more so when you know you're going to be experiencing that valley, once you hit it, carry on going. Keep doing what you are doing because those actions are going to compound. And those small wins are going to come. And when those small wins come, you find yourself in stage 4, informed optimism. You start to see the fruits of your labor. And it encourages you to go a little bit further. By sticking with it and making sure that you're focusing on what your body is capable of and growing that capability, those small wins will stack up and you'll go from informed optimism to success. And after all, isn't that where we want to be? Now, I have no doubt that this information will help you achieve greater health, energy, and confidence. But the knowledge isn't the issue. The knowledge is out there. You can get what I've talked about here anywhere online. Yes, you have to sift through a bit, but you can find it online. The knowledge isn't the issue, it's the implementation. It is that accountability, it is that guidance when you find yourself struggling that is going to get you the result. And that is why I want to very quickly introduce my Thrive program. Thrive program, as I said earlier, has been designed based on my 7+ years of muddling through with my own health and fitness. And it is something that I have developed as I've been working with clients to give business leaders everything that they will need to guarantee an improvement in their health, energy, and focus without sacrificing anything, and making sure that they do so without any of the fluff. The Thrive program only includes what works. Not only do all of my clients get a fully personalized training plan that is designed around their needs, their goals, and their schedule, as well as my individual lifestyle framework, so they get constant coaching and access to me whenever they need it, but also they get access to my Thrive portal that lays out every single step that they need to take in order to guarantee success and gives them all of the knowledge they could ever need, alongside being able to speak with me and discuss how they're going to implement it within their specific situation. Essentially, the Thrive program is the ultimate course for navigating your way to greater health, energy, and confidence. And over my 4 distinct Thrive phases, you'll have everything you need to guarantee long-term sustainable health. And it won't cost you any more time. The point is that you can fit this into your lifestyle without restricting anything that you've been told in the past needs to go, and also without making your day any longer than it already is. But I have to tell you this, Thrive is not for everyone. So if you're looking for a quick fix, if you're not willing to put the work in, or if you're happy going from quick fix to quick fix, even if you're happy with your health habits right now, then Thrive is not for you. It's not a quick fix. It takes work, it takes effort. But what it does is remove the guesswork. You don't have to guess whether what you're doing is working, because myself and all of my clients are proof that it does work. All you've got to do is put the effort in to follow the steps and be open to developing yourself and learning new things that are going to help you live a long, healthy, happy life. And the best thing about Thrive is that you literally cannot fail. Because if you do everything that we agree on at the start of the course and you don't hit your Thrive goal, not only do I give you 100% of your money back, but I will also continue to coach you for free for life until you achieve that goal. It is honestly impossible to fail. So if you want to learn more about the Thrive program, all you need to do is click the link above here as the video ends and download the brochure. Once you've downloaded the brochure, have a read through. If you like what you read, use a link at the bottom of that brochure to book in a call with me. From there, we'll talk through what your goals are, develop your individual roadmap, and we'll get you on the way. Now, here's to your sustainable health. Let's go.